Thank you so much for helping me name my Bronco sport. That's right, it's official. The name that could go down is Betty the Bronco. She's so fantastic. Felt so cool this week driving around in that thing, taking me from one side of Louisville to the other, waving to all the other Bronco sports. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. It's not like a Jeep thing, okay? I'm not a tool. One thing that I really love about that Bronco, though, and it's just really available pretty much in all newer Fords, but using that Ford Pass app, you could start your car on there. You could lock your door on there. It is great because I'm one of those people that I'll get in bed. I'll be like, oh, man, did I lock my car door? And I got to get my ass out of bed, go get my car keys and lock it up. Now I just do it in bed when I overthink it. It's great. I love it. So if you're ever debating on what kind of car, Ford, that's what you should do because it's going to be something that you love. You fall head over heels for that automatic start through the app. I didn't know how I would like it. I thought that it might be a little gimmicky and it might not be good for the car. But let me tell you what, man. It was cold and rainy one day when I was leaving work, and I started my car up through the app. I mean, that's living. That is living. And I'm glad I can finally feel that I'm cool, that I made it. Yes, all because of a car. That's the reason why I feel that way. That was the best feeling that I had last week with the car, was actually starting it automatically through the app. Tell you one thing that wasn't great last week was having a salad for dinner. If you ever have this conversation with yourself, like, it's time to eat healthy. We need to go clean. We need to be eating all the good foods for us. That's great. Everything but having a salad. Because when you have a salad as a main course for dinner, you always end up hungry. It doesn't matter how much protein you put in there, whether you put chicken, whether you put steak, shrimp, whatever. You just always end up hungry afterwards, and then you're on the hunt for a second dinner about an hour later. Nora made a Chick-Fil-A salad, and the reason why we make it is because salads from Chick-fil-A are actually very expensive. For whatever reason. I feel like it shouldn't be that expensive to make. So we just make it at home now. So everything that you get in a regular Chick-fil-A salad is what we do. And we both ate our salads pretty quickly. About an hour later, we were watching TV. She looked at me, I looked at her. We both said at the same time. This is what happens when you get married. If you're married, you know this. Be like, I'm hungry. Both of us, same time. You start thinking like each other. She was like, I really want cereal. That sounds like a great snack right now. I said, babe, we don't have any cereal. She was like, no. We're going to go to Target and we're going to go get cereal. Oh, okay. We got into the car. I think it might have been close to 8 o'clock. We went to Target and we got some Trix. Was it Trix? Yeah. Silly rabbit. Trix are for kids. Great marketing back in the day. Probably one of my favorite commercials for cereal I'm talking about. The only other one that I can think of, no, Fruity Pebbles. I remember the Flintstones being on those commercials. Tony the Tiger, he was always all over the place in those Frosted Flake commercials because they were great. But I'm telling you, she came home and had that bowl of cereal. She was so happy. And I just kind of looked at her and was like, I'm glad you're enjoying that because I'm still very hungry. I don't like cereal. For whatever reason, the older I get, the more I hate cereal. I loved it as a kid. Captain Crunch was my favorite cereal as a kid. Just a regular Captain Crunch. I didn't need anything else to it. I didn't need the berries. I didn't need it to be peanut butter. Just the regular stuff. I could eat a whole box of that. But Trix I was never into. and she was eating it, reading the back of the bag. I was like, you're a little kid right now. The only thing that's missing out of this whole picture right now with you eating this cereal is having milk come out of your nose from laughing so hard at a cartoon. That's about the only thing. Nora was laughing at that. I was like, that never happened to you? Okay. Only me when I was watching one Saturday morning on ABC. That was a good lineup. I don't know if you remember it, but that was a great lineup of shows on Saturday morning. I want to watch Recess now. I think I almost talked myself into it. But anyway, as Nora was eating her cereal, I kept thinking to myself, I got to find something to eat because I am starving. And I didn't think it was too bad. But I was sitting on the couch and my stomach just did the whole glop. I was like, all right, now I definitely need to go and find some food. I think I went to go get a fiber bar. We have these Millville fiber bars from Aldi, which are actually pretty good. There's a cinnamon one and a lemon bar one that we have. Chef's kiss to those. Whoever at Aldi figured out that one, thank you so much. Because really good. Now, I don't need the extra fiber in my diet, but I kind of wanted something sweet. And I know both of those will give me the sweet. And it has the extra benefits. You're probably like, Luke, you don't need the extra benefits. After we heard your story last week, we don't need to know. Okay, I'll stop there. All right, I won't give you any more details about me doing all those extra activities. I'll just tell you what I eat, okay? Because I like to eat. And one day last week, Nora did her girlfriend's hair. And you're like, where are you going? This whole thing was about food. Yes, it still is about food. She was doing her girlfriend's hair, and she got done pretty late. I think it was almost 8 o'clock, or it could have been after 8 o'clock that she was done with the hair. And she goes, what do you want to do for dinner? I said, I don't know. I was like, to be honest with you, I'll eat anywhere. And when I say I'll eat anywhere, it's not that typical response. You know, like if you're a husband or if you're the other counterpart in this scenario where you'd be like, oh, where do you want to eat? And they're like, oh, I don't care. And then you start naming off restaurants and like, no, not that one. I'm like, oh, I thought you didn't care. When I say I don't care, I really don't care. I really don't. And that day especially, I really didn't care. So we ended up going to KFC because we had it the week before, and she was like, man, that was my first time having KFC in forever, and it was really good. It was. If you haven't been to KFC in a while, get your ass over there and get their brand new French fries. I think they've had them for a while. I'm kind of late to the whole party on that one. But I got their chicken sandwich again. Got it the week before. That's how good this thing is. Their chicken sandwich is fantastic. I think we need to reevaluate who has the best chicken sandwich in the game. Every fast food restaurant has a chicken sandwich now. Your favorite could be Chick-Fil-A. Maybe it's Popeyes. But coming up my list is KFC. You know what? Let's do an impromptu. Top 3 chicken sandwiches right now from fast food restaurants. And only national. So that way you can't throw in one that's local to you. This is only national fast food places. All right, so here, let me write these down for a second. So, all right, let me write these down so that way I could do it in order here. All right. All right, so I'm writing number 2 right now. All right, here we go. And like any good countdown, you go from 3, 2 to 1. We'll bring out the number 1 for the finale of it all. This is my hot take. Chick-fil-A, number 3 on the list. Chick-fil-A to me over the last couple of years, I really liked it for a long time. But over the last couple of years, I think that it's become so popular that it doesn't keep up with the demand for some reason. I think the quality has gone down a little bit. There's been more restaurants to open up. There's been more people going through the drive-thrus, so sometimes they're rushing orders. And I find their chicken sandwiches at times to be very soggy. And nobody wants a soggy chicken sandwich, especially when you're paying out the ass for Chick-fil-A. When Nora and I go there, it's like, man, we should have just went out to eat. We spend so much money at Chick-fil-A. That's why we've really stopped going there. I mean, for us to go there, it's like $25. I get grilled nuggets and a side of fruit. I get charged for that because I don't want the fries. No, I don't want the waffle fries. That's one of the most overrated things in the fast food game right now. The Chick-fil-A waffle fries. There's so many other better. You know what? I feel another list coming on. We're going to have to do a French fry list. I mean, you know what? We'll do that not on Wednesday's podcast, but on Monday. I'll give you extra time to think. I'll write that down for next Monday. Let me put that in my journal here. Yeah, I keep a journal for this podcast. For Monday, let's look at the date. Monday, April 4th. Gonna do a top 3 French fries. Ooh, that's gonna be a good list. I'm telling you right now. Because I'm thinking it. Anyway, let's get back to the best chicken sandwiches. All right, that list. Number 3, we had Chick-fil-A, the most overrated. And I'm just putting it at 3 just because. Out of respect to Chick-fil-A, I'll put it there at number 3. Number 2, go try Burger King's. Burger King's chicken sandwich, not the original chicken sandwich, not the long one, but the one that is supposed to be like all the other chicken sandwiches out there. That one is very good. Really good in spicy form as well. I'm all about that spicy chicken sandwich life, and that one has a nice little kick to it. But the problem is, with all this spicy food, I've been finding out lately that my stomach just doesn't agree with it. And I love spice for the flavor. Spice adds so much good flavor, but now I have to start slowing down on all the spice that I put in food because it hurts my stomach. But I love it. Sometimes I'm willing to fight through the pain in order to get the good spicy food. All right, you ready for my number 1 chicken sandwich out of all the fast food places? A drum roll, please. That did not sound like a drum. KFC. It is so good. I think you knew where I was going there because I said that I had the KFC chicken sandwich. It's really good. The crunch that you get out of that thing, oh, you could do some ASMR on that. Maybe I should do that on a YouTube channel. Luke eating chicken sandwiches. ASMR. Here's another thing about me. I love watching people eat food on YouTube. This is a sad fact about me. When I was working in radio, I was doing afternoons, and when you're in a studio all by yourself, you're looking for a way to pass time. Of course, you got to talk on the air and everything like that. I would still do that, but I needed to keep things going. So every once in a while, I would jump on YouTube, and I would watch YouTubers do mukbangs of different fast food places. McDonald's, KFC, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell. All I'd really do is just put like fast food mukbangs in the search engine of YouTube, and I'd click on the first video, and then I would just go down in the suggested order. I would watch video after video, mostly mostly during the 6 o'clock hour. I would do that, and I would just get lost. Like, oh man, that food looks so good. I wish I was them right now eating all that food. Instead, I was drooling like Homer Simpson. That's what I was doing, looking at a donut. I love you, Homer. And I love donuts, too, man. You know what? I think we found something, kind of like a segment to do here on the show, a top 3 list. And we'll do it on Mondays because we did the chicken sandwich one. That one was just kind of spur of the moment. Next week on the podcast, next Monday, top 3 fast food French fries. We got a lot going here. This is bringing me a lot of happiness. Figure like I'm starting to figure out the show here. Putting my life together. It's all about bringing happiness. And one of the things that truly brings me happiness and really getting me feel good about myself is dressing up. I have to dress up with this new job that I have with cellular sales. We have to wear a button-up shirt, have to wear a nice pair of dress pants, dress shoes, suits on occasions. They actually encourage you to wear a suit every day. But I only have one suit right now. I actually just brought another suit that I had into Men's Warehouse to get tailored. So that way I could have 2 suits and I could switch in between those 2 going to work every single day. But I was feeling good the other day. Had this suit on. I threw that picture up on my Instagram and on Facebook talking about having that big D energy. That big dick energy. I think I just said BDE on the caption of that photo because I have family members, some of them a little bit older that are on my social media, and I don't want them to like really respond to be like, oh my God, I need to just send big dick energy. So I just said BDE. And everybody that got it, got it. So that's all that we needed to know. But seriously, I'm trying to think of other things that put me in a good mood and get me feeling good about myself. I'm telling you, wearing a suit, when you dress up, it takes you from like you're feeling about a 7 of yourself. You put on a nice outfit. You start strutting around the house. You start showing your spouse, hey, look at this I got on. Don't I look good today? You're like, hey, you're going to get some when we get home, baby. Yeah. Title shot when we get home. That's what I'm talking about. See, it all goes back to feeling good about yourself. And it's silly that sometimes it's over clothes, putting yourself in a good outfit. But, I mean, hey, sometimes you got to do whatever you have to do in order to make yourself feel good. That's dressing up every so often. You know what? Maybe I'll do this a little bit more. Dress up, take Nora out for a nice dinner. Bet you she would love that. Now, for me, a nice dinner usually is just like, hey, let's hang out at home. Let's be in sweatpants. But I'm telling you, if I get that BDE from dressing up, maybe I'll get that BDE to go out to dinner. I'll have that energy riding into going into dinner and then coming home and doing some back scratches afterwards. Doing some little wrestling. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I can't wait. Speaking of wrestling, this coming weekend is Wrestlemania Weekend. If you don't know what Wrestlemania is, we can't be friends. Wrestlemania is only the biggest, most important thing in sports entertainment. I'll be watching that on Saturday and Sunday. I'll be nerding out. I'll be geeking out. I'm going to try and get some friends over to watch it. So that way, there's a great environment watching WrestleMania. Maybe I'll talk about WrestleMania next Monday, too, on the podcast. Ooh. No, I'll save that. I won't torture you through all the wrestling talk. Because I know that some people don't like it, so I'm like, okay, I just will refrain from it. And it's hard when you're passionate about something, so easy to talk about that subject that you're really into. And so sometimes when I'm at work and people will ask me, hey, what are you into? I'll be like, oh, WWE. And sometimes I'll see the chuckle come out of them. But here's my other thing when it comes to like loving weird things. You got to remember, back in the day, it used to be really nerdy if you were into comic books. Now what's one of the most popular things out there? Being into comic books. And I have said this for probably the last decade. And I'm not, maybe a little under a decade, but roundabout there. It's okay to be a nerd. Everybody is a nerd about something. Me, I'm a nerd about the WWE. Sports fans, they can be nerds. If you're a sports fan, there's nothing wrong with being a nerd about the thing that you love. You're passionate about it. You know all the ins and outs about it. It's okay to wear that on your sleeve. I have some wrestling t-shirts. I don't wear them all that much because I'm just not a t-shirt guy. Like I look weird just wearing a regular t-shirt for some reason. I have a Royal Rumble t-shirt that I got for when I went to the Royal Rumble. It's an old school WWE Royal Rumble shirt. It's like Jake the Snake Roberts on there, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, The Undertaker, Yokozuna. I mean, all the greats, the old ones. Hulkamania's on there. So it's okay. Wear that Superman shirt, that WWE shirt, that book shirt, whatever you're into. Let people know what you're into. Another thing that I'm into, my dog. My dog is awesome. I love her. And if you look at my social media at Luke Kelly Show, you'll see Rory all over there. Why? Because I love her. And last week was her birthday, the 24th. And this year, Nora and I really scaled back on her birthday. We'll usually take her to PetSmart, get her in the car, and bring her over there to go pick out a toy. But we decided that what we really should do is just give her a tennis ball. We had a bag of tennis balls that we got from, I don't know, it doesn't really matter where we got them from, but it was like a huge bag of tennis balls. I'm like, Nora, instead of going over the top, taking her to go pick out a toy that's going to be like $25, because that girl has expensive taste. I don't know what it is about my dog, but even she has expensive taste. I was like, we're going to take her to PetSmart, going to spend $25 there, and then we usually take her to go get either a puppuccino or we take her to go get like a Dairy Queen cone or something like that on her birthday. It's like, let's scale back. Okay, we don't need to go overboard. Still love my dog. She's still happy. So, you know what? That tennis ball made her super excited. A fresh, bright yellow tennis ball. By the way, is a tennis ball yellow or green? That should be a full debate. Is it yellow or green? Whatever color it is, she loves it. And what Nora and I usually do for Rory's birthday isn't even over the top. I've seen pictures of dogs' birthday parties. Have you seen this? This is a real thing. Where they will have a cake, they'll have other dogs come over, and they throw a banger. Like alcohol, food, and everything for the humans, and all the butt sniffs, and all the milk bones, and everything else for the rest of the dogs. I'm like, yeah, man, I can't afford that stuff. Who's going all out like that for a dog's birthday party? I don't have the means for it. My dog's still happy. I don't think she really knew that it was her birthday. And who knows? We adopted her from a shelter, and they just estimated on when her birthday was, okay? They didn't know the exact date. They barely knew what breed she was. Cute little puppy. Cute puppy. Go back on my Instagram and see that. I mean, there's a reason why we took her home that day. She was, oh man, that little dog. Pinch those cheeks. She's just growing up so fast. So fast she's growing up. 5 now. Yep. I'm happy that I kept her alive for 5 years. Never had a pet before that. But now I'm the pet care champion of the world because I could take care of one dog. That's another reason why I feel good about myself. Raised a damn good dog, man. She plays a great game of fetch. Do you play a game of fetch? Whatever it is. She does a great job. She loves to play fetch. Tennis ball, frisbee, her chuck it. Sometimes she wants you to throw her chuck it. Crazy ass dog, man. I absolutely love her. And I'm glad we didn't go overboard. I don't want to look like one of those crazy-ass people on Instagram. They're out there. Whether you like it or not, they are out there. They really are. Well, thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Luke Kelly Show. Remember, new episode comes out on Wednesday. Wednesday's the new episode. I already got one thing written down for the next episode on Wednesday. It's places that you get nervous to go with your significant other. And I'll tell you more of what I mean on that on Wednesday's episode of The Luke Kelly Show.